The middle class in America is getting crushed. The United States is becoming a third world nation. We're now at the most critical juncture in all of humanity.
Well, this is the year and next year of the commercial crash. This is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in my lifetime.
All the more reason to protect your assets.
What they're always trying to do is predict, and I think the word is preparation.
Most people throughout the world are not financially educated.
The whole world is based on debt. You can count on the government destroying the dollar.
You're really that worried about Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers?
Yes. I'm afraid the Federal Reserve will eventually or come close to bailing them out. That's what I'm concerned about. And that young lady who says the taxpayers are not in trouble, who's going to pay for that bailout again as the taxpayer? That's where this whole thing started, with playing games with your money.
I think the biggest attitude to take is the opposite of what the papers do.
Money does not start in your hands. Money actually starts in your head. And so what people have are these age-old, industrial-age beliefs, sacred cows such as go to school. Everybody says, yeah, you got to go to school, but you don't learn anything about money. Once I understood the game, then I could decide which way I wanted to play the game. So some of you who watch this program are going to say, well, that's not fair, or we're not trying to be fair. There is no fairness when it comes to money. Either you're a winner or you're a loser. That's all my job is, to inspire you to use this. Don't be a Pavlovian dog.
I guess what a sacred cow is, if you define it, as something that everyone kind of accepts as truth, and it's taboo to say anything bad about it or go contrary. There's a lot of these things that I think are really serious. They hurt people.
Why the sacred cows is because we have been taught things that really are, number one, don't apply today. The thinking is obsolete, and it's putting people back into dire financial consequences because they're following old, outdated advice.
Today's world's different than it used to be. The way things always have been done aren't working, and it's time that somebody stands up and shoots a few sacred cows so that people stop suffering.
We've got a lot of financial storms. Will they dissipate? I don't know, but if they don't, boy, we need to be prepared, don't we?
The whole world is based on debt. It's trying to deflate, and governments around the world are fighting the natural deflation tooth and nail.
Debt is like a handgun. It can be either used to protect you or it can kill you if you use it the wrong way.
The way I grew up, I had zero financial education because we had zero finances.
Most of the people here are entrepreneurs, and what an entrepreneur does is an entrepreneur solves problems, and they see the problem, and the problem is only getting worse in terms of the whole financial crisis and what's happening to individuals. I mean, people are getting wiped out at later in life when they thought they could retire.
It's so important who is surrounding you when you're hitting rock bottom.
And you want to make sure that you have a backup plan.
Many people want to change the government rather than change themselves.
We have a solution. I feel we have a very strong solution.
Hello, I'm Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm probably best known for my book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And I'm Kim Kiyosaki.
And today, we're in a financial crisis, and we saw this coming, and that was the reason back in 1996 we created the Rich Dad Company, was to provide financial education so people can learn to take care of themselves.
If something isn't working for you financially today, then maybe you need to look for new answers. And we're always looking for new answers, and that's what this documentary is about. So it's about you getting financially educated and taking charge of your life and not depending on the government or other financial experts, and depending upon yourself.
So our answer to the financial crisis is to get financially educated. Financial education begins by shooting the sacred cows of money. Hello, I'm Robert Kiyosaki. I'd like to introduce you to my team. In actuality, the Rich Dad Company has thousands of people all over the world working with us or for us. But these people are the core of my team. They're friends, most are entrepreneurs, and they're my advisors. Many have written the Rich Dad Advisors books. Most of us know what a soccer team looks like, or an American football team, or a baseball team. In business, successful people have great teams because business is a team sport. And one of the reasons so many people hurt financially is there are individuals playing against massive teams like big banks and things like this. So if you're going to be successful, you have to have a great team, great partners, great friends. The mission is to change people's lives through financial education, because most of us are entrepreneurs. We run our own companies. And as you know, right now the world is in a massive financial crisis. And for many people, they woke up to the crisis around 2007 when the subprime mess hit. But in reality, this subprime mess, or this global crisis, and it is a global crisis, has been brewing for years. And today, people are struggling, people losing their homes, their jobs, their savings. Also, the rich are getting richer. So what this program is about is why people are struggling and what you can do personally to not be one of the victims of this crisis, because it is a global crisis. Time out. You need to know the 5 elements of financial education. Element number 1 is history. There are many interesting dates, but in 1913, the Federal Reserve Bank was created. Also of importance in 1913, the Internal Revenue Service was created, so they could tax us. You see, they had to tax us if they were going to print money. Date number 2 that's very important is in 1971. In 1971, President Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. That is crucial because after 1971, money stopped being money. It started becoming a currency which was backed by debt. And one of the reasons we're in this massive financial crisis today is because after 1971, the Federal Reserve Bank could print as much money as it wanted. And in 1974, the rules of retirement changed. And that's why today so many people of my generation are afraid of running out of money during retirement. And element number 2 is taxes. As you know, taxes are not fair. There are many reasons why the rich pay much less in taxes than the people who work for the rich. And element number 3 is having a financial vocabulary. In other words, understanding the language of money. For example, what's the difference between an asset and a liability? Capital gains versus cash flow, or fundamentals versus technicals. That's all part of a financial vocabulary. Number 4 is wealth protection. As we all know, there's people out there trying to steal your money. But there's also people who you trust your money to who are also taking your money. So that's why part of financial education is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. And element number 5 is always remember there's 2 sides to every coin. And that is to remind you that when you put your money in the bank gives it to somebody else. When you put your money in your retirement plan, the bank gives it to somebody else. So for a complete financial education, you need to know there's 2 sides of the coin, and in this program, you'll make a decision which side of the coin you want to be on.